My friends, I asked the Council of Bavaria an important question. Should we go home, back to Sicily, and try to reclaim what should have been ours to begin with so many years ago by now? The answer was, well, that the members made many good cases, let me tell you that outright. Many of you were very passionate about where we should end up and what decision we should make, but in the end, the vast majority decided that our place is in Iberia, that we should build our future and our home in this peninsula that we know so well and that we have dominated over just the last decades. And I am inclined to agree. You see, these questions and these answers, they are never something that comes easy, because this is something that will bind us, that will put our dynasty on the map quite literally and keep it there, at least for some time going forward. Of course, there's always the kind of outlook where we might say maybe we want to have something that spans the entire Mediterranean, right? So at the very least here goes between Sicily and Valencia. But the reality of this is, of course, that well, you know, we're gonna see what exactly our characters actually want, because chances are that they will be much more intertwined with local politics rather than with whatever is going on over there, given that there is no trade system in the game. I can tell you right now that I looked at this, that I thought of this quite carefully, and I want to do something that is at least somewhat similar to what actually happened here in Sicily. If you recall, and you can of course see this, let me see whether I can't initiate a travel planner. There you go. We did, of course, here have the historical Battle of Civitate. Now, keep this in mind, because this Battle of Civitate was a struggle between Humphrey of Apulia and Pope Leo IX, and ultimately they came out the other end agreeing. The Normans made a pact with the Pope that they were given these lands as rightfully theirs, and in, of course, return they would be quite docile towards the papacy. I liked this idea. It was a nominal tributary ship at best, ultimately always disturbed, be it historically speaking or in this playthrough, by the Holy Roman Empire, by the Byzantines and the Muslims. You can see right here, of course, Sicily proper is split. Richard of Sicile has been a terrible ruler, which is kind of the last resort that I have that keeps me alive, just looking at this. And you know, the longer I take this in, the more disastrous does the Hauteville dynasty look in general. Now, I want to do something similar right here. We have been impactful, but our manpower isn't nearly where, well, it ought to be if I want to rule. Just look at these kingdoms. They rule very small chunks of this peninsula. Valencia rules a big chunk. They're allied, of course, to Mallorca, to Toledo, so they have these internal vassals. And what is most important to me here is the very simple fact that when you take a look at this, we of course cannot compete with them, which means that I would want a hegemon that can't really do much more than be hands off and look at me from a distance, but nonetheless, I would like the blessing of somebody else, and I came across something that I really liked. Take a look at this right here. We have already a favor of Rey Sancho of Aragon. We did one of his contracts and we have an actual favor hook because we did such a great contract for him. Just 5 years more and then this hook goes away, and that is why I want to use it relatively quickly. I would like to, and I don't know what this will look like mechanically just because I haven't done it in this, I would like to request a sponsorship to invade Valencia from Aragon. And then we're going to see how that pans out, whether we become a tributary or whether we are not technically a tributary. Either way, I really like the idea of exploring this, because having a sponsor will make it so that we will be much more legitimized. And I think this is something that Sir Jourdan the Bastard understands. When we take a look at the peninsula, you can see that there is a large swath of Mozarabic. These Mozarabic are already in communion with us. You can see it right there, of course. But they are nonetheless different, and they value their kind of... and they value their autonomy, because that is the only thing that allowed them to continuously exist even in the face of course, the Umayyad Caliphate when it, you know, used to be in this location. Not just that, but they also have become a bespoke culture right there. They are the Mozarabs. They have family business, refined poetry, malleable subjects, perfect for us as well, and ritualized friendship, which is very similar to all of the folks up here in the north. Now, I will tell you this right now. I want them to view me as a righteous ruler. When Valencia was historically taken over by the Aragonese crown, well, immediately afterwards they were facing a massive rebellion of Muslims that had many reasons, and it is of course a very complex thing, as it always is. But the reality is that Jourdan already knows these lands. He takes a look around and he says that the Andalusi, they will never trust him. It will take generations before they will look towards the De Sicile dynasty and say these are our rightful rulers. Now, the Mozarabs, on the other hand, there's a chance there that we can come to an accord relatively quickly. And so with that in mind, if I get the blessing of one of the northern kings, one of the protectors of the existing Mozarabs, well, surely I can have a much better reign. And so to do this, here's what we're going to do, because this is now a very important video. We're going to be settled and our dynasty will be here for some time going forward. It doesn't really matter to me which one we choose right here, just give me a little bit more in provisions. I am going to travel to Alto Aragon. I want to talk to the King of Navarra and to the King of Aragon proper. I will dedicate, of course, my journey here to good faith, to show that I am a good Christian. The same way that Henry IV, or well, Heinrich IV, I should say, had this myth of being the universal monarch despite not believing in it, I want to be the protector of Christians in Iberia. If they view me that way, they will, without a doubt, be much more malleable subjects. You prayed at a local Christian shrine, you gained 1. I think we even have to undertake the pilgrimage to Santiago. I think that will be very, very valuable. Ooh, okay, yeah, I'll sell her to you. You know what, we got a bunch of prisoners, I think. I don't know any of these, none of them actually matter. I will ransom whoever I can ransom, and we go from there. And there we are now, we have arrived in Alto Aragon. Now let me double check this. Oh, Russell Animals. So this is an illegal contract that I will obviously not take. I was hoping that I would get a great contract for the Kingdom of Aragon proper, right? Maybe, I don't know, fighting corruption, you know, that kind of stuff, but that doesn't really matter, because we already have the hook. That does indeed matter to me so much. Let's just sell her right there, there you go. I'm gonna sell anybody that I can here, I think. Ooh, Master at Arms, I was completely forgetting that, thank you very much. Now listen, here is why we are here. Rey Sancho II Sanchi of Aragon is going to be our guarantor. He is going to be the man that stands behind us, and I don't actually need to do this one, right? I have a hook, that is what matters here. I will ask for invasion sponsorship. I don't know how this mechanically pans out, as in, since I am becoming a king, I can't be his vassal. Will I just be a duke? What exactly happens there? Let's figure this out. If I become a tributary, that would be the ideal solution for me, because that directly, like I said, emulates what we of course had here in Sicily as well. I will request, most graciously, from the great Rey Sancho II, that he protect and indeed support my cause, freeing the Mozarabs, the Christians of Valencia, making sure that they live in a realm that does them justice. I will be the protector, the liberator, and indeed the valiant knight that the Christians in the south do require. And in return, I will serve him. I will stand, you know, down there in his name. Let's see whether he agrees. He should, of course. I don't know, by the way, why he has Muslim GFX. There will be bugs like this in a long-term playthrough, don't worry about it. Very well, I will aid in your invasion of Sultan Yaya's Tazeltna, provided you swear fealty to me if you emerge victorious. I want to see this. Oh, I can't do this anymore, because it's Kingdom or higher. Oh, that's so stupid. Okay, quick rewind. We're going to do that again, and this time I'm not going to do that interaction. Oh, we're actually getting the fight corruption contract. You know what, I'm going to do him a favor. I'm going to get that fight corruption, and with that, maybe I hire mercenaries to get more troops. I hate that, obviously. I kind of want some impact. I want something that is feasible here. We can't really get an alliance with him. That's not something that I can do. I think we're going to act as though I had pressed this, and I will offer myself as a tributary. I think that is what I am going to do. I could rent one knight, but I'm not going to do this. I could arrange marriage. He's not going to give me his daughter, let's be real here. You know what we're going to do? I am going to ask him for provisions. And those provisions I can use, of course, to replenish my troops, which in turn means, technically speaking, he kind of is supporting me here, you know, in my actual pursuit of Valencia. Mechanically, it doesn't work for us, but narratively, I am going to treat it as though I promised to become his underling. I think that makes perfect sense. I will also do him a favor now. I will fight corruption. Obviously gives me money as well, but also ensures that there are some Norman knights that we are indeed fighting together. You know what, we had so many battles. There was nothing here that became a battle memory. Good to know. Okay, we're going to venerate local shrines. We're going to go to Tarragona. Oh, and Tarragona is actually Mozarab. That is cool. So that means we are going to try and pacify the location down there, which obviously is exactly the amount of people that we care for. Oh, and Roger here could actually become a rough terrain expert in this event. Okay, we got it. The actual flavor there isn't that good. Who cares? We don't need to think about it too much. William has become the most competent of the web weavers in my family. I'm not surprised. With that name, he seems devious indeed. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say silence your men. The Mozarabs should serve the Kingdom of Aragon and in extension me. Silence your people or die peasant. I'm not sure whether I left troops back there. I didn't. Okay, so we just fully succeeded, making it now so that we can return home with a good contract done for Aragon. And I think now's the time to push south. Man, all these travel events, I will not miss them. I will be so glad to be landed again. You know, just for good measure, I want to be at peace with the Navarrese and, of course, with the Aragonese. I'm going to go ahead and do a contract here for them as well. Gives us money as well, indeed. Of course, that is the obvious choice right there. But simultaneously, it also just makes it so that we are in their favor. And my friends, you know the routine. Silence your people or die peasant. There are no alternatives. Let's finish off here, you know, bringing peace to Navarra proper as well. It looks like the Mozarabs really are rising up here left and right. I can't have that happen, because if they get any ideas in the north, they're going to get them in the south as well. And so, with the support of the kingdoms of Aragon and Navarra, I shall lead my very own crusade. It is not directly blessed by the Pope, but it is blessed by all church authorities in Iberia. Valencia, after all this time, has to become Christian. Sultan Yahya II Ibn Ismail, I know him well, I knew his father well, and I know where their weaknesses lie. Their troop count is nothing in comparison to what we can bring to their doorstep, the pain that we can indeed inflict. Oh, and I could totally become a court employment member right there. I like that, but we're not going to do this, obviously, because here comes the pain, my friend. We are invading Valencia. Now, I do want to stress I don't want to be overpowered once we are landed, which is why I'm going to get rid of a bunch of money here. I don't think I need to do this to win this war, but I will be hiring mercenaries. Oh, you know what? It would be really fitting if we actually came on here, if we rode into battle with an actual support of a holy order. This will cement us. I would love the Teutonic Order. The narrative is so ridiculous. Oh, he is Sorbian, which is actually kind of funny, I'm not gonna lie. Where are you based? You are actually based in Burgundy, it seems, and you should be based here in Norway. I remember you were founded by the Norwegian. In this case, I will be hiring the Knights Hospitaller just because they are the closest. I would love the Pope's support right there, but I don't think that that is in the cards. We're going to go with the Knights Hospitaller under Magister Generales Vesias of the Knights Hospitaller, indeed. They are of course nearby here in Occitania. What are you rebelling over, by the way? A dissolution war? Oh, that would be sick. If Olaf Frankland just dissolved, that would be crazy. Let's see whether they get it through. That is, it's not actually too many people rebelling here, right? Yeah, it's just Burgundy and kind of the people up there in the north. That is okay. Doesn't really change anything for us. Oh, and I should definitely do this decision. We're going to do this before we become landed. Way more importantly, though, special mercenaries. Who can I hire? Oh, Dame Emma, the daughter of Deuce Robert de Fox. We also have the son of Captain Rodrigo de Campeador. I think I'm going to hire both of you. The loyal vassals indeed, and the arrow bearers. Both of you shall serve me in this war. Historically, of course, it was Rodrigo here, who for at least some time held Valencia until the Almoravid dynasty swept through Iberia and took control there. Is there anybody interesting here other than those folks? I don't think so. I wish I could land them with me. Let me just be honest here. We still have Godwinsons running around down here. That is very funny. Okay, and with this new army, we are going to go to war. And I will be honest with you, I don't think that this is going to be too big of a challenge. Valencia will be mine. Now, I think in this war, I don't actually get whatever I siege. I'm going to test it out nonetheless. I'm going to go siege Castellon and then siege my way towards Valencia here. I, of course, mostly care for Valencia proper. With the support of the Northerners, it is now time to claim what is ours. Oh my god, yeah, you got plenty of troops here, huh? We actually have now a de Hauteville, of course, aiding us. Nothing wrong with that. I think that is a pretty good situation there for us. We got plenty of knights as well. We have a true and genuine army. We should be feared. My cousin attacks. Wait, what are you doing? You are trying to conquer Kefalonia? You are attacking Vasilea Romayon? I guess he's busy, but that is certainly an interesting war right there. Oh, and it looks like my allies are going to have a bit of an issue. They landed to Mallorca. I will not aid them. I will not assist them. They are, of course, the makers of their very own fortune, and it looks like a lot of misfortune over there. But, you know, again, like I said, not my issue. If you can't fight, you shouldn't have joined my call. Cousin taken prisoner. Humiliating. Dame Emma, humiliating. That is all I can say. Oh, well. It is no longer our dynasty. Let's keep that in mind no matter what. I could get an alliance theoretically with Kefalonia, or with Lanciano, I should say. We're not going to do this. You know, who cares? And there goes the very first siege. Successfully, might I add. I don't think we imprisoned anybody new. Indeed, we did not. Press on. That is all I can say. I think I march immediately. And you know what? Do I need to replenish anything? Yeah, you guys are okay. I think if they challenge us to a battle, we will completely annihilate them. Oh, and what is that? Prince Quentin. He is Norman. Oh, he rules up there in Normandy, but technically is the Prince of Viennois. Although I'm pretty sure that he doesn't hold any land in Villanova. I could be wrong here, but it doesn't look to me like he holds anything there. He wants to arrange a marriage with Griselda. You know what? I think that is okay. I don't care for her much, and this does give me an interesting alliance. He is Norman, so the bonds there are quite intuitively true, I think. Oh, and back at home, Basile the Black is raiding. He is attacking the Lord of Castro Giovanni, who is stronger than him. The Hauteville family in Sicily, they are complete non-starters. I know I say it a lot in this video in particular, but how humiliating it must be to be them. Look at them while I now march towards Valencia. Yeah, they must wish to never even have been born. I mean, that is just awful for them. And that is actually really interesting. We have gained a rival. It's our wife, and she likes us. I mean, she really does, but I suppose that the years haven't been kind to her. We have, of course, really kind of pushed her to the edge. We are not faithful. She knows that we don't really believe in the church and in Jesus and all that mumbo-jumbo. She has become irritable, a flagellant, a drunkard. She feels as though her flagellation is what will carry us forward rather than my kind of righteous scheming, my deceit, right? And it seems that she boils over, despite she looking at me and saying, I do everything that I can to keep you safe, to make sure that what you do works so that our children have a good life. She also simultaneously despises us. That is super interesting. Being a rival at plus 100 is crazy, but I really, really like this idea. Think about it this way. She clearly knows that I have no intention to be a good Christian king. I do not care whether my vassals are Muslim or not. I care for them to be quiet, to be silent. And so, you might be a Sir Jourdain, but you are also a two-faced scallion. Makes perfect sense. This is the final, once and for all, falling out that we have with our wife. The unprovoked anger expressed by my wife, Dame Merta, came as a complete surprise. She has been under a lot of stress lately, but when asked to explain herself, she has only doubled down on the insults. I will give as good as I get. Off. That is exactly right. Would he back down here? Obviously, he wouldn't. And now there goes the siege of Valencia. It was simple. They didn't even challenge us. We got plenty of money here. And I seized the Dunonid house banner. Now that is big. Who are you? Your House of Abderrahman. I don't think that you matter to us, at least not in any meaningful way. You think we can challenge them to a battle? We are, of course, far fewer troops, but ultimately are much, much more superior. I'm gonna go ahead with the money that we have and actually, you know, kind of here, invest in this. The Travels of Jourdain Sicile, I do want to record it. We only need to visit 26 points of interest, and we have 38, so this is completely fine. I have seen wondrous things indeed. The bright sun rising over snowy mountain peaks, the effervescent gutters of sprawling cities, the temples harboring the most pious and the most wretched souls, the work of men across centuries, nature's wonders crafted by the hand of God Almighty. I have seen it all. I have talked with highborn and lowborn alike. I've seen people live in myriad of ways. Such a trove of astute observations of my faultless reminiscences would be a cherished marvel for anyone with but a spark of curiosity, should I decide to write it down. My memories belong to me alone. I don't think so. I have not told half of what I saw, or my pen shall remain dry for now. We are going to go with I have not told half of what I saw. This artifact will provide lifestyle experience for future holders. One of the big themes of Jourdain's life was ending up with nothing to his name, with just a rock that was, of course, Malta right there, right? Who is holding Malta right now? Let's just double check this. Oh, the king himself has taken it. Of course he has. That is exactly the fate that we would have faced had I remained in Sicily. The way he sees the world, the way he sees what he is doing here is pretty simple. He writes this down so that his legend, his legacy will be remembered and people will shout his name from the rooftops as a good commander and an even better ruler. His wisdom of the Greeks, the Romans, the Amazigh and so on, they will be something that people will safeguard for generations to come. Let's take a look at this. Is this good? We got the Travels of Jourdain Sicile, monthly lifestyle experience plus 20%. That is big. I like it. Yes, that is a powerful journal artifact right there. And from here, let's go challenge the Sultan himself. Oh, and I'm seeing this now. I do get what I siege, so that is very interesting. We definitely want to siege Mallorca. I want the islands. That makes perfect sense, right? If we take this stuff down, if we ensure that it is ours, it would give us so much potential to rule these lands. I think everything in the south is a bit cut off from us. You even see this, of course, in the infrastructure. This is the road that runs north that connects us to Aragon, whereas this road connects the Umayyad Caliphate, you know, when it used to exist, rather than connecting to Valencia. This is inland. It will be more autonomous. That is completely fine. I will crush their armies, and then we shall siege the islands. And there we go now. I have found them in battle, and it's not even funny. I mean, Jesus Christ, this battle was literally nothing. I have captured the Emir of Granada. I think he's going to stay where he is for the time being, and then in the subsequent battle, well, I mean, I don't need to talk about it. Can I go and siege this in time, you think? Oh, I am so... I have to siege it. How do I get 100%? Yes, 75%, okay. I'm not sure. I think this might just piece us out without me being able to do anything. I want at the very least Mallorca, right? This is the island that we have dominated, where we fought our first battles. And frankly, I think that is from where I would rule rather than from Valencia proper. And it looks as though he actually prevented the dissolution war that was going against Kaiser Baldarich, but we have a separate one, an independence war. And this one would spell the end of Francia. Look at this. It is France herself that is rebelling. This is a La Marche, so it is actually an Occitan ruler. No surprise that he would rebel against, you know, German dominance. The Occitans are even one more degree removed from the Germans compared to the Franks all to the north there. Interesting. I think we won't have a very powerful neighbor. The legacy of Heinrich IV is one of failure. Let it be a lesson for us. And there now, after we didn't do it initially, we are also sieging Mallorca successfully. I'm so glad I got to do this, because this will... Oh, we even imprisoned him. Oh, that is crazy. Muis Cantiga about female dialogue. Okay, let's keep that in mind. We imprisoned the man who we already defeated in the past. I believe we actually defeated his father. Mallorca was such a tough nut for us, but we have cracked it. Oh, I am going to try and siege even more if I can. I would love the islands. I really don't care about this stuff inland. Frankly, we now hold, of course, the Duke of Granada and the Duke of Mallorca. They are important. I might even let them go if they swear fealty. That isn't really what matters for me here. What matters for me is the direct land that I am grabbing. How long is this going to take you? 10 months? Oh, it just was over. Okay, now they did just piece me out because I, you know, had sieged enough. Did I get this? I didn't get it? Oh, so that wasn't even worth it. Whatever, it's okay. I'm going to revoke Mallorca in due time, I'm sure. Is he still in my prison? Oh, he is. I'm gonna revoke Mallorca. You bet I'm gonna revoke Mallorca. Amgar Farafs of Alcanis is looking sternly at me in a direct, almost lecturing way. Perhaps there's also some surprise in his eyes. He starts to unfold a beautiful banner bearing the emblem of House Cecile. One of the ways in which the world will now judge your rule is by how you adorn and care for your royal court. I've taken the liberty to have this made as a gift to mark the beginning of your royal tenure. Right, he is welcoming me, and he must be surprised. I have ousted the Dunanites. Why is he's not even... so he used to be a part of Valencia and declared independence. I see what happened here. Granada actually also declared independence. Jesus, is that so, huh? Is that so? Interesting. Let's go to the court. This is the beautiful community flavor pack Iberian court. I love it. I think it's gorgeous. I am going to hang over my head the Dunanite house banner, and then as advisors to my side, the House Sicily banners. Look at that. I have taken what the Dunanites were unable to protect. I'm not sure. You know what? Let me double check this. So we are now feudal. We did not actually become clan. That is completely fine. The war's over. You were nothing. You will get nothing. I'm sorry. Forget about it. You have absolutely nothing to offer to me, and you should be aware of it. Dame Emma, you are a disgrace, as is every last other member of House de Hauteville. If I could, I would hold you hostage myself and maybe even execute you. This humiliation that you have brought upon yourselves is not my destiny, it is not my duty. Now, to order the realm, I am going to go ahead and immediately pass limited crown authority. We could even go to a high crown authority, which we can do. I found this out, by the way, after the initial episodes that we had when our liege did it. I asked Koifish, and Koifish said, you know what it actually is? It is you being a Norman. Take a look at it right here. Altings. Characters may break the crown authority and tribal authority cooldowns at a heavy prestige cost. I think I'm going to assert absolute central authority. Is it the wisest thing to do? No, I don't think so. But this man right here will not accept even one word against his rule. I will pass high crown authority, no questions asked. And then I will turn to Emir Abu al-Kazim ibn Muis and I will say, you, my friend, have no right to rule these lands. I will revoke all of your titles here. Here's evil. Obviously, other Muwaladi vassals will be provoked here. This is one of those reasons that could also lead to a rebellion of the Muwaladi. It is quite possible, but I do not care. To the winners go the spoils, and this man right here is one of the losers. I can tell you that much. We have gained a rival. He is in our prison. I have taken every piece of land, and then I will humiliate him. I could ransom him, but for 10 bucks... You know what? I will simply banish you. I will demand nothing of you. You are no threat to me. That is what I am communicating right there. We could theoretically grant and take, I should say, more land of all the Mubaladi vassals here. They are, of course, upset, and upset they should be. If they dare rebel, then, well, if you come for the king, you best not miss. Now, what we do with Amir Ahmad the Evil... that's a difficult one, because ideally, of course, I would like to reintegrate them immediately, right? He's technically not a part of Valencia, but nonetheless, I would love to actually add him to my collection here. I am simply going to let you buy your freedom. I am okay with that in your case. And so now let me take a look at this. Sevilla here is a local location, very important, of course. Ishbilia controls the March of the Guadalquivir right there. If you look at Cordoba, it lies directly behind the very, very important ports of Cadiz and indeed, of course, of Sevilla, right? So these are very important locations right there. I need this in trusty hands, in hands that have served me. I love my sons, don't get me wrong, but they shouldn't be in that position over there. I need to think about a courtier who's been with us, probably one of our knights, and who will want to serve us ever more gracefully. Putting an Aragonese down there would be pretty interesting. I do have some Normans here, I suppose, a Crusader. I mean, he is quite well versed, but very, very old. I think when it comes to pacifying freshly conquered regions surrounded by enemies, the Aragonese are better than any other. And he right here, Alifonso, well, he is a trusted advisor of mine. I'm going to go ahead and grant you Sevilla. You are going to be a new lord. Take a look at this. He has become... what actually is he? What type is... He is a glory hound. That makes perfect sense to me. And then I can actually hold on to all of these territories that we hold directly. I might want to take Minorca sooner rather than later. In fact, we might look into this. We will see how it goes. Alright, and now that we are settled, I want to do a couple of things that are interesting for setup. We already now have an interesting guy down there. He's not Norman, he's Aragonese, but he is important to us. I want to kind of renege on the contract that we, narratively formed, of course, with Rey Sancho here. I do indeed desire to submit to the suzerain. Now, canonically, I would argue, however, that we agreed for expected tribute. I am going to only offer you a meager tribute. That is all you get, nothing else, okay? Nonetheless, I'm going to treat this the same way that the Normans would have treated it here in Sicily. I am underneath you, at least in name. Of course, I understand he is ambitious and such. I think at the earliest opportunity he might want to break away, but for now it gives him pacification, it gives him believability and a little bit of a mythologization as well when it comes to the Mozarabic population in this region, and that is exactly what he cares about. So we have settled that. We're going to become a tributary. I do need a tax collector. Ah, right. Who can I trust with this tax collection? Yeah, that is very interesting. I would love to put my player on this. I really like the idea of this. He will go around and get to know our Muslim vassals. That is the only way that he can then be a good ruler for them. I could change the tax decree. Would I want to change anything here? I think I'm going to tax them quite harshly, right? Mukata's status right here would be interesting. No, I want the zakat. I want a luxury tax. I want you to give me more money even if it upsets you. This tax regime that I am setting up will not be satisfying for you. I can tell you that much. Now, council-wise, that will probably mean that I will be disregarding all of the Andalusian rulers. This guy right here, the Mozarab, he is important for who we want to work with. So I'm going to go ahead and grant the title of Spymaster to somebody I trust. Now, I know it says disloyal, but he trusts her. He trusts her decently. Oh, I could put Prince Roger on this. He's our heir. You know what? Prince Roger is already busy. I'm going to give this to Prince William. I want you on the council. This is a family business, and we are running it as such, of course. Now, Chancellor-wise, I will never listen to any of the Andalusi Mualadi. This Mozarab right here, I will put him on the council, and I will request that he convert to the one and only right religion. Not that I care, but it is him essentially giving me loyalty. Now, other than that, we're going to mostly, I think, dip into people that we trust, that traveled with us, like Guillaume de Charolais right there. We're going to go ahead and get their support. Oh yes, Sevilla, there you go. I want him as my marshal. That is very, very important. Bring peace and bring, indeed, pacification to my lands. So, now we have set up who is ruling in our stead here, right? So, who takes over all the tasks if necessary. What else would I like to fill? I definitely want a court chronicler, just because our conquest right here needs to be recorded. That should be clear to everyone. Even if it costs us some money, that is fine. An executioner would be great. I would love it. If I could have somebody right here that essentially can look around and say, if you oppose my king, I will crush you. Officially, we are Rejordin the Bastard, of course, that makes sense. And on top of that, let's definitely take in a couple of bodyguards right there. Roger Cecile, perfect choice right there. I also do like Abu al-Qasim Hishamid. We do like him. I think he was one of our travelers. Yeah, he's a friend, in fact. Put him in as the bodyguard. That makes perfect sense. We do have more people imprisoned. Right, Granada. Let's unpause real quick right here. We got a ransom that is gorgeous. And we have now become a subjugated tributary. Again, we are just on the very low terms, and technically speaking, we can probably kind of just get out of this. You know what? In fact, I will immediately abuse my power. I will owe you nothing, and you will like it. The promise that I made in Alto Aragon is effectively already broken. Only in name are we a tributary, and technically, this does mean that he owes us indeed a guarantee. Oh, that is devious. I love that. Valencia is now indeed underneath Aragon. I'm a big fan of this. I think the way this plays out makes narratively perfect sense. We are upheld. We are supported by him. And I think that support is immediately quite necessary. Look at them rising up against us. I think he is just smitten by us, just for the record, with how amazing we are with him. I mean, I'm not against it. If they already plan a revolution, I think it might be too early for a coronation. Let me just take this in, right? We hold all of these regions now. Is this a legend? Am I losing? Oh, there is a legend here. The religious builder of Palo. Is that not the Pope's? Oh my god, the Pope's legend made it all the way to here. We supported this actually from Sicily, right? What do we have, by the way? We have the heirs of Charlemagne. I don't think I can do this. Yeah, I literally cannot run this legend. I would love if I had a legend, but here we are. Yeah, I'm making some choices now. We have underneath us Prince Igeder ibn Ismail of Valence. He is a Dunonid. That is dangerous. Obviously, that is dangerous. Here we have the Amirit, who is the brother of the man that we disposed in Mallorca, so obviously also very angry. Then here we have an Alarcosite. He is Mozarab. I don't want to come down on him too much. I really, really don't. Cordoba here, I want to come down on because I saw Cordoba. I love that city. I need it under the control of a good Christian. Then we have a couple of other people. More Dunonids up there in Toledo, huh? Currently, we need to clean up the domestic issues. But I would love to pacify this entire region. I think that would make perfect sense. Faction targeting us. Yeah, you know what? They can rebel in 12 months. I will not hold a coronation ceremony just yet. We are barely taking over the realm. Instead, I'm going to go ahead and... I can't even see it anymore. I would love to hold court. I would love to hold court just to bring basic kind of, you know, acceptance and order into our realm. A new guest has recently come to my court, a silver-tongued poet of some local repute. My lord, as the storytellers of old sat at the knee of ancient warlords, so do I, Arnold, hope to find employment under your protection. Please, allow me to demonstrate my worth. I would dedicate my next work to you, perhaps. I love the perhaps, by the way. Grand epics are my purvey, great race. Of which hero would you have me sing? Ooh, of myself. Absolutely, yeah. He's a new court poet. I'm gonna turn him into a court poet for sure. That is a great opportunity. And in fact, I will definitely step up fashion. I'm not sure how much he cares about food. Lodging, not really either, but servants. Oh, the servants have to be high. That makes perfect sense. We're a warlike court. We speak Romance. Makes perfect sense as well. Let's get our court to be recognized in the eyes of the world. We are just establishing ourselves in Valencia. We do, of course, also hold Mallorca, but again, I might move it on over there later. For now, I think we're good. Valencia, how well developed are you? 13. I think that is pretty comparable to what we had in Palermo at the time here. Yeah, I think so. So, you know what? This isn't bad land. Anyway, let's hold court. Let's just do that here. Let's see where we go. My god, I actually used up all of my prestige. That is crazy. I don't know how I did that. I had so much prestige. A thin, raggedy peasant stands before me, gawking at the opulence of my throne room, obviously distracted. I call him to get his attention. Oh, I'm sorry, my lord. My village in Mallorca was hit by blight this year. We lost not only our crop, but our seed too. We have nothing. We shall starve without help. Glancing around my throne room again, he adds, surely you have wealth to spare. Ooh, and this is interesting. You will have the funds that you will need to rebuild costs more money. We don't really care about the money. It gives me grandeur, which we obviously love. And then this is a great modifier. Since we are saying we want to pacify the people, we want them to be calm and respect the authority of the Norman Knights. This is also really nice. But you know what? No. We're going to go with, yes, I am a gracious king. If you serve me, I will treat you well. Now next up, a provincial merchant steps forward, clearly out of his element in my rich halls. I beckon. Come, man, we don't have all day. Yes, my lord, he stammers. I am Valentin, representing the disgruntled traders and freemen of Requena, Valence's greatest tamdint. Tabat, our Amgiwan, is a barrier to commerce and the town's interests. We humbly ask you be replaced by somebody else. A Mualadi Amazic, interesting. And Valentin is Norman. I will absolutely depose you. I think I will name him as the new... Yeah, I'm not going to hold an election. I don't need elections. I will go ahead and place you as the mayor. Starts holding a grudge. Okay, it is even worse. Well, that is unfortunate, but I did what I thought was right. My vassal Rais Abd al-Varith approaches the throne with a young man in tow. My liege André, he spouts. My acquaintance, Richard de Leon. Oh, Richard de Leon. Huh. Okay, a Norman. Oh, he comes from the Britain Leon, I think, not from the Kingdom of Leon. Interesting, he has great stats. He's a great fella, big build as well. I think we immediately recognize him as a worthy Hasteluder. Good stuff, interesting. He's an Andalusi. Oh, and he doesn't hate me that much. He's just I suppose he's just a baron. My acquaintance seeks the honor of serving in your retinue of chevalier. Give him the opportunity to prove his quality. The man knows his way around the sword and will not let you down when it counts. Listen, I know many people have negative opinions about these court events. In my opinion, this is breathtaking. We stationed Norman knights all around Iberia, and now one of them comes back to us and says, I want to serve you. Very well, you may attend me, Richard. He becomes, indeed, one of our knights, and I shall carry him forward from there. That is beautiful. If you work and do me a favor, if you serve my units, if you serve my armies, things will be good. Oh, and just as I become a king, at least an equal, if not superior to Rey Richard, look at that, he is under attack. Yeah, this is for the county of Syracuse. Should they take it, Sicily is essentially done. It would just be Malta and Messina, which is, of course, pitiful. Absolutely pitiful. You know, I was going to say, hey, I sat down and I made a new sigil. I kept it very simple. This is literally Valencia, except these stripes here are white, you know, for our Norman house. And I'm looking at this and I'm like, it looks just like America. Maybe that's just me. Obviously, this character here wouldn't care about this. Let me know in the comments whether this is off-putting for you. I like the idea of giving it a Norman characteristic, but yeah, I'm not too sure here. What I will, however, do without a doubt to end this episode is this right here. We are going to change this lion, only a little bit, but we are going to change him. See, we're definitely going to put a crown on the head of this lion. I was looking at this. This looks basically, you can't see it. I think white would be good to show the supposed innocence of Christian rule now in these parts, which of course, given what we have done to the locals here with how heavy our tax regime is, isn't really the case. But I do think this is how he would like to display himself. Kind of a vision that he has. I'm going to go with this right here, a silver crown. I think that is going to work for us. And that gives us now a nice personal coat of arms right here for House Cecile, with a crown atop the lion to symbolize our conquest of Valencia. Folks, I am super stoked that we are back in business of being landed. We are a king. There's a lot to do. There's a lot coming for us. Not only do we have this dissolution faction, we do of course also have at least somewhat of a look towards the east and towards the south, might I add, here because of King Ibrahim. But I do think that we will just in general be much more grounded now, given the fact that Rejordan the Bastard is no longer fully in his element. He has to explore a new world that really isn't his own. This right here, of course, he has now taken. What emerges from that is yet to be seen. Folks, I will leave it right here, and I will see you later, alligator.